Hello, and this tutorial is how to keep your player on the screen and how to use jump to position to move your player around on the screen. Oh, time for school to start. As you can see, this player will not leave the window or the play screen. Let's see how that's done. Okay, so here is the software. Let's have a look at my object. Here's the player object. I've got some other things programmed into here. I'll show you those later. But when I hit the left key, and it's just a left key, it's not a pressed or anything, what I do is I check to see if its position, which is X, if it is larger than 0, only if X is larger than 0. So if X is less than 0, it's off the screen to the left. So, then I'm going to jump to position -10, so that'll bring me 10 to the left relative to where I am now. And that should happen 30 times a second. With up, if Y is larger than the value of 0, it's on the screen, then I subtract 10 from Y relative to where I am now and move my position up in the Y. A game maker and computers, they start by drawing the screen from the top and they move down, so Y gets larger as you move down. So to move up, you have to make Y a smaller value. It's a little backwards of graphing, but it's the way computers work. Let's look at right. Right's a little different. I've made this so it works with any room and any sprite width. So right, if X is, if you take the room width minus your sprite width, if it's smaller than that, then we can continue to move to the right. Room width is a built-in variable. When you open the room or start your game, the software saves the room width so you can access it. So if I change the size of my room, this will continue to work. I subtracted the sprite width from it because the sprite center of origin, I'll show you that here. Here's the sprite. Here is the center of origin up here. So if I don't subtract the sprite width from it, then it will look like it's moved out of the room, but it'll just stop right there in the upper left-hand corner where 0, 0 of the sprite is. So if room width minus sprite width is smaller than, if X is smaller than this, then I can continue to jump to position 10 to the right, more than the X direction, relative. And then with down, there's also a room height. So if Y is smaller than the room height minus the sprite height, then I can continue to move down, making Y more positive because down is more positive, and I can continue to move down the screen. So if you want to limit your player's position on the screen, or not leave the room, you can't use these move things here because these just move fix. It just fixes it and goes. It's not updated every frame of the game, so those won't work for that. That's mainly for when you're moving bosses or other enemies around the room. Okay, so there's one way of moving and keeping your player in the room. It doesn't this type of movement really doesn't have a lot of coasting or anything. It just starts and stops when you hit the keys. Meow, meow. I got my fire limited here. I'll show you how to do that in another one though. Okay, goodbye.